Well, this really is starting to get a bit ridiculous now, isn't it? I mean, Keir Starmer's government is supposed to be tackling the criminal justice crisis, but instead, of course, they're doing the exact opposite. And Chancellor Rachel Thieves, or Rachel from accounts, or whatever you want to call her, is kind of to blame for not giving the police the support they desperately need, whilst, of course, not forgetting cutting funding for victim services, a shocking hike in employers' national insurance. Keir Starmer, remember, used to be the big cheese, as some people would call it. I'd probably call him the big knob cheese at the Crown Prosecution Service, and he promised to clean up the streets and make people safe again, remember? But here we are, a whole year later, and a poll says that 7 out of 10 people think he's doing nothing but kind of hot air, or farts as it's otherwise known. Tiff Lynch, though, who's the new head of the Police Federation, is sounding the alarm, warning that policing is spiralling out of control and putting public safety at risk, which is the last thing we want, isn't it? Tiff even says that officers are earning less as well, 21% less to be exact in real terms compared to 2010. In which case, just how do you think they're supposed to actually keep up with Labour's promise of 13,000 more neighbourhood police? Because let's face it, if they're getting less, it's not going to really incentivise them to join the police, is it? Well, that's not it. They could lose apparently 10,000 officers each year and waste nearly £10 billion just trying to keep staffing up. You know, wouldn't just be a policing crisis, it would be a full-blown public nightmare with all the, not just five-finger discount people, but also the other people, shall we say, out and about who might not want to do too nice things to people, if you know what I mean. And on the victim's side, though, Katie Kemperman of Victim Support is also talking about this. She acknowledges that some efforts to tackle violence against women and antisocial behaviour, but says that the overall picture for victims is quite bleak, really, with record court delays, thousands are waiting years for justice and their lives are on hold because of it, while vital victims' services are also being slashed due to funding cuts. And this just is not on, is it? I mean, Keir Starmer really does actually need to sort all this out, you know, once he's finished comforting Rachel Reeves, that is. But are they going to do anything? I mean, it does make you wonder, because apparently government is releasing offenders early to tackle prison overcrowding as well. And Justice Secretary Shabima Mahood says that there is no way to build our way out of this crisis for some reason. I personally think that they should bring back the Bippy Stockholm and use that to house extra prisoners. It would be kind of like our version of The Rock, or Alcatraz as it's otherwise known, because it'll be, you could even put it out to the middle of the water if you wanted to, couldn't you, eh? But Shadow Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick is also losing his mind about this, claiming that early releases and scrapping short sentences will unleash a crime wave. And I personally think, I hope I am wrong, but I personally think he is right about that. Because if you release criminals early, it's hardly going to act as a deterrent for them, is it? It's just a little slap on the wrist and boom, they're back out on the streets. And that's the last thing you'd actually want them to think, because they'd more than likely just do whatever that is again, if not escalate it. And our high streets, remember, are already plagued with petty crime and shoplifting, and he reckons it's never been easier to be a criminal. And if voters start to think Britain is becoming a more thuggish place, Labour is going to be in big trouble. Let's face it, they're kind of in big trouble at the moment, aren't they? And then there was this kind of controversy, if you want to call it that, over Keir Starmer appointing Lord Helmer as Attorney General. That's kind of because, I'm guessing, his past clients include Jerry Adams, who, if you're not familiar, he is apparently a terrorist who plotted to bomb a Manchester shopping centre. And even some lefties out there are calling him out about this, like Lord Glassman, who says Hermer is an arrogant, progressive fool. And it looks like he might be right, doesn't it? Meanwhile, Reform UK, well, apparently they are painting Labour as soft on crime, which they kind of are, aren't they? Let's face it, in my opinion anyway. And Sarah Pouchin, who, remember, won a by-election for Nigel Farage's party, says that the government is putting safety at risk with early releases and new rules for recalled offenders. She also warns that victims of domestic abuse are facing the terrifying prospect of their abusers being freed within weeks, which would just be an absolute nightmare, wouldn't it? And let's not forget prison overcrowding and the court backlogs. There are over 76,000 waiting to be heard at the end of March, up from the previous year. I mean, it's just a complete disaster. And as soon as Labour actually pulls their finger and do something about this, the better. And if they won't, then I'm sure Reform will do. And the sooner Reform get in, the better as well. But anyway, what do you all think? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll be back very soon with some more videos. So make sure you click that subscribe button down there so you don't miss my next one.